Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Before he invited me, I came. Look, almost all the points I thought of like highlighting was discussed by our chief speaker, Paltasingh, and all our students. But I have very few points. Mostly, my position of disagreement with this. First, is it GST reform? Right? If it is reform, then previously it was loot. If you consider this as reform now, right? Then previously it was loot was going on. Again, listening comments and his various points, I think now also it is not reform, it is reform. Why? Look, when GST was introduced, GST was introduced in 2017 July. Exactly 6-7 months after the demonetization. Right? So when you and demonetization is one historical measure that it has never happened in any civilized nation's history. Even it never happened in history of independent India, that you take a policy measure for which some people have to die. You can remember, you know how many people died in demonetization, just standing on the line. You adopted demonetization, completely demolished the economy, and then when the economy was just recovering, you again adopted another thing. And I'm not saying GST should not be adopted, but the way it was implemented, it was another slap on my face, this side, when demonetization was slapped on this side. And then the loop was on and on for 8 years. Now you realize, no. We need to do some reform. Why? Because Trump has levied 50% tariff. Remember, any tax, whether be it direct tax or indirect tax, GST or income tax, any tax is harmful. Very simple mathematics. I can show you very simple mathematics. I will show you that any tax has very harmful effect on equilibrium national income. Therefore, and at the same time, you have to have some revenue to spend on developmental activity. Therefore, your tax revenue has to be spent judiciously. Right? But at the same time, you have also another form of revenue, that is called non-tax revenue. Now, the argument that our company was saying that this may why government is collecting this because government has no money. Now, this is actually misleading. If government has no money, you are talking about 5 trillion economy. You are talking about where the fourth largest, third largest, whatever. Modi every time, every month or every week going to foreign country. And what is the effect? How many times Modi has gone to US? More than 12 times. What is the effect now? And who is spending the money? Government of India is spending our money, tax revenue. So the tax revenue should not be spent on recklessly like this. Tax is harmful. Be it any tax, therefore the tax revenue has to be spent judiciously. Now coming to GST, when GST was introduced, 2017 July, should have been introduced in a manner that should help the economy to recover from demonetization. But the way you actually implemented, putting several layers of taxes, you actually demolish the whole recovery process. Now, to me, it is positive in the sense, perhaps for the first time, economics and their politics, they are somehow aligned. Now, though it is reactionary to Trump's tariff, but there is some alignment between the ruling party's economy and their politics. Somehow they thought, okay, there is a tariff there, so that is going to happen. That is going to affect our export revenue. So let us give some sort of rebate here in terms of taxation. But whether that will really achieve the goal of augmenting aggregate demand and then creating employment, time will say, and we have also a minimum transmission mechanism, right? So that gestation period is there. So it is too early to predict or say anything positive about it. But my point is, the way you celebrated that, the second independence or something, you just put all the lights in the on the parliament and then you celebrate this second time. What is that? The second independence, and this is third independence, right? I think this is third independence, and you are the people.
This is for Bachchat Utsav according to PM. Bachchat Utsav.
And our PM is going and saying, you purchase, right? You see, this very theory of augmenting aggregate demand, to me it is also not going to happen. Why? Now, if you look at the composition of population as per the economic class, our middle class is just about 15 to 20 crores. I mean, 15 to 20 crores. Not more. I mean, the middle class, the medium, I mean, upper middle class and middle class. They are simply 15 to 20 crores. And those are the people having a high aspiration, and then in their case, this MPC is little high. The marginal propensity to consume, people those who are supposed to spend, they are only 20 crores out of your 140 crores. Then 120 crores are the people who are either, I mean, most of them are lower middle class, I mean, almost like bottom level, and this tax rebate is not going to help. And then the top elites, they are simply good for nothing. So this theory of augmenting aggregate demand and all this, I don't think that is going to work. But one good thing that happened, that is, for the first time, there is a positive economic policy reform that is happening in reaction to something, some sort of external shock, that is your Trump's tariff. Earlier, GST was implemented when there was demonetization, which should not have happened in that way. Now, another thing, when your MSME is completely demolished, only GST reform or reducing some tax will not help. We need GST reform with some special package for MSME. Because you have to raise the whole MSME and then consumer can also spend. I think he was telling. So the GST declined from, some goods. What was the number? Declined from 12% to 5%.
In agriculture sector, it declined from 12% to 5%.
Look, this is also misleading. Why? If you compare the hike in GST 1 and the reduction in GST 2, right? These are the commodities, set of commodities for which your GST increased earlier. Now you have reduced it. Now if you compare the hike and the reduction, the net effect is, it is already high.
Means from 100 rupees it was 112, then we reduced 5, then it is 107 still.
Exactly. So the net effect is still, it is increased tax. Now you raised the tax so much and now reduce it little bit, and then you are saying, no, you go and purchase in the market. That is not going to happen. So this GST, the way they are now highlighting it, it is actually not there. So I don't find any sort of I simply don't find this is again another jumla. To me it is another jumla. I don't find any positive. Thank you, sir.